In this video, we're doing a day in the life review of the iPhone 13 mini in 2024. So I'm going to go through a typical day's worth of activities using the phone and discussing it along the way, also taking some photos and videos using it, all to give you an idea of what it's like using the iPhone 13 mini in 2024. So the iPhone 13 mini was released back in fall 2021, and it features a 5.4-inch OLED 60Hz display, and it has the current modern style iPhone design with a pretty bezel-less front display, the flatter aluminum sides, and glass back design with two 12-megapixel main and ultra-wide cameras. This phone is quite literally a mini iPhone 13. Literally everything about this phone is exactly the same as the regular-sized iPhone 13, except for the smaller 5.4-inch display, as opposed to the 6.1-inch display on the regular-sized iPhone 13. And it also has a smaller battery capacity of 2,438 mAh as opposed to the 3,227 mAh that the regular-sized iPhone 13 has. But literally, everything else is the same, which is undoubtedly the reason this phone is very appealing to those who prefer smaller, more compact iPhones but still value having a modern iPhone. It's powered by the Apple A15 processor with 4 gigs of RAM, which is a very modern and future-proof processor. The latest base iPhone 15 model only has a one generation newer processor with the A16 chip. So the iPhone 13 mini will remain fast and responsive for years to come thanks to the A15 processor, and will remain supported by future major iOS updates for at least 3 more years. As I mentioned a second ago, the 13 mini does have that relatively small battery capacity of 2,438 mAh, and as a result, you'll definitely notice worse battery life on the 13 mini compared to the full-size iPhone 13. But this trade-off in such a compact device is to be expected. But as always, your mileage will totally vary depending on how you use your phone and the battery health of the battery in your specific iPhone. But again, we will be checking in on the battery percentage throughout the day. The cameras on the 13 mini are fantastic. Again, you're getting the very same cameras that you get on the regular-sized iPhone 13. It features a 12-megapixel main lens with an f1.6 aperture and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens with an f2.4 aperture. And we're actually going to head over to the park to take some more photos and videos on the 13 mini and also on the latest iPhone 15 and the iPhone SE 3rd Gen for comparison. But before we do that, I want to take a moment and thank Taurus for sponsoring this video. The O Stand R iPhone cases provide 3 times military-grade protection, and Taurus is also the original brand to introduce the round stand case design that allows you to stand your iPhone up horizontally or vertically, which is perfect for consuming video content or taking video calls hands-free. The circular stand is also magnetic, making this case fully compatible with MagSafe accessories and chargers. The stand also doubles as a ring holder, which you can use to grip your iPhone securely and confidently, and the stand folds back up into the case seamlessly when you're not using it, resulting in a very slim iPhone case design. The O Stand R cases feature 1.5mm raised edge protection, which will protect your iPhone's display. The Taurus O Stand R cases pair very nicely with their Mini Mag power bank, which is honestly the thinnest MagSafe power bank I've ever seen. It has 5,000 mAh and features a card-sized design that's only 0.3 inches thin and weighs only 4 ounces. It features 7.5 watt wireless charging with MagSafe and features 18 watt wired charging using the USB-C port at the bottom of the power bank. You can charge your iPhone to 100% in just 2 hours using wired charging with this power bank. It also supports trickle charging mode, which is specially designed for earbuds. Using an O Stand R case alongside the Mini Mag power bank provides great utility and protection for your iPhone, all while maintaining a very slim profile altogether, making this the perfect setup for carrying around when you're out and about, whether you're running, biking, hiking, or just going about your day. Having the ability to watch a YouTube video hands-free on any surface using the built-in stand within my iPhone case is such a convenient feature, especially when traveling. And being able to easily keep my iPhone charged with the Mini Mag power bank that integrates so nicely with the O Stand R case is a very nice addition. I'll leave a link to where you can check out both of these products in the video description down below. Big thanks again to Taurus for sponsoring this video. So here's some more photos and videos taken on the 13 mini, and also on the latest iPhone 15 for comparison, and also on the iPhone SE 3rd Gen for comparison, as it's Apple's other recent compact iPhone model. So as I often say, ever since the iPhone 11, every iPhone generation takes stellar photos and videos for typical casual usage situations. And having the full camera system from the regular sized iPhone 13 in such a small and compact package is very impressive to me. And as you're seeing, even when compared to the newest iPhone 15, the 13 mini's photos hold up incredibly well. And this is to be expected with a phone that's only 2 generations old. I gotta say though, it is still a bit surreal having this much capability in such a small package. And unlike the iPhone SE 3rd Gen, which is again Apple's other recent compact iPhone release, the 13 mini here has an ultra-wide camera lens in addition to the main lens, allowing for 0.5 times ultra-wide photos, one of the many perks of having the full feature set from the regular-sized iPhone 13. The 13 mini and the SE 3rd Gen have a maximum digital zoom of 5 times for photos, and the newest iPhone 15 has a max digital zoom of 10 times for photos, thanks to the 48 megapixel camera lens that it has, instead of the 12 megapixel lens that all the older iPhone models have. And front-facing photos on this phone look fantastic, not much of a noticeable difference between the newest 15 and the 13 mini here. And also, here's some video footage shot at 4K 60 frames per second on all three of these iPhones. Absolutely nothing to complain about here. I'm not really seeing any substantial difference between the 13 mini and the newest iPhone 15. And in terms of front-facing video on the 13 mini, nothing but good things to say. And for the next hour and 45 minutes, I just knocked out some work. And as usual, during this time, I did take a 20-minute social media break using the iPhone 13 mini just to browse Instagram and Twitter. And quick battery check after this time working and using the phone a little bit, we're currently sitting at 73%. And next, I want to talk about the overall value of the iPhone 13 mini in 2024, the price, and where you can buy it. So you can generally get a good used 128GB iPhone 13 mini for around $320 to $360 on eBay, Amazon, or other used marketplaces. Apple, unfortunately, does not sell this phone new anymore. And honestly, if you're someone who prefers more compact, smaller iPhones, there's simply no better option than the iPhone 13 mini in 2024, as it's the most recent mini iPhone Apple has released, and sadly, it'll probably be the final mini iPhone ever, as Apple has opted to replace the mini iPhones with the larger Plus models within the iPhone lineup for the past 2 years with the iPhone 14 and iPhone 15 series. The mini iPhones simply weren't selling enough to warrant Apple continuing to make them. As much as there's definitely a group of people out there who still enjoy smaller iPhones, the majority of people prefer bigger phones in 2024. This being said though, the 13 mini is again still a fairly new iPhone, with it only being 2 generations old and sharing most of the key modern features and specs that you'd expect out of a smartphone in 2024. So this phone still has a lot of life and longevity left in it, making it still a fantastic buy in 2024 for anyone who likes a smaller iPhone package. Your only 3 other options in terms of modern, more compact iPhones are the one generation previous iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone SE 3rd Gen, and the iPhone SE 2nd Gen. But the iPhone 13 mini is definitely the best value out of any of these phones. You can get a used iPhone 12 mini for around $220, so around $100 less than the 13 mini, but it has a one generation older A14 processor instead of the A15 processor that the iPhone 13 mini has, which will result in less longevity in terms of major software update support over the coming several years. And you can get an iPhone SE 3rd Gen used for around $200, and while it does have the A15 chip, the same one in the 13 mini, it also has a much older iPhone 8 style design with large bezels on the top and bottom and a much smaller 4.7 inch display as opposed to the 5.4 inch display that the iPhone 13 mini has. And this actually results in the overall footprint of the SE being slightly larger than the 13 mini, despite the screen being smaller because the bezels are so big on the SE. And you can get an iPhone SE 2nd Gen for around $120, but it does have the Apple A13 chip, which is coming up on 5 years old, so you'd be buying an iPhone with, again, much less longevity in terms of major software update support over the coming years, in addition to the other shortcomings that the SE format has with that iPhone 8 style design. So again, in terms of a modern feeling but compact iPhone in 2024 that's going to have good longevity, the iPhone 13 mini is by far the best choice. And something else you should know when buying any used iPhone is the battery health capacity of the iPhone you're buying. As always, the battery performance of any iPhone will vary quite a bit depending on the condition of the battery in your specific iPhone. Just to let you know, the iPhone 13 mini I'm using in this video has 86% battery health capacity, so of course if you have an iPhone 13 mini with considerably higher battery capacity than this, expect better battery life than what you're seeing in this video, and if it's considerably lower than this, expect worse battery life than what you're seeing in this video. I'd only recommend buying an iPhone if the battery health capacity is somewhere around the 90% mark here or higher, to ensure that you're getting a device with somewhere close to the full battery capacity. You can find this info in the listing for mini used electronics, and if it's not there, I'd recommend asking the seller. And here's a photo taken in a darker environment with night mode on the iPhone 13 mini and the iPhone 15. The SE 3rd Gen unfortunately doesn't have night mode. And here's that same photo with night mode off for the 13 mini and the iPhone 15. So you can see night mode definitely makes a pretty big difference in brightening up the shot, and the night mode on the 13 mini holds up great against the night mode on the newest iPhone 15. And for the next hour, I streamed music using Spotify to my AirPods using the 13 mini while taking care of some household chores. After that, I did have another 2.5 hours or so of work to knock out, and I did take a 30-minute social media break during this work session as well, once again using Instagram and Twitter on the 13 mini. And after taking a quick 20-minute FaceTime call on the iPhone 13 mini, for the next 45 minutes, I used Gmail on the phone and watched some YouTube shorts on the phone. And as usual, I capped off the night with 1 hour of YouTube video streaming to my AirPods using the 13 mini. So guys, at the end of the day, if you're someone who prefers more small and compact iPhones, the 13 mini is simply the best place to go in 2024, as there's really not a whole lot of options. And sadly, mini iPhones are a dying breed. I mean, Apple has completely discontinued them with the iPhone 14 and iPhone 15 series in favor of the larger Plus models. As for better or worse, that is just what the vast majority of people seem to prefer in 2024. But that being said, the 13 mini still has a lot of life left in it because it's still, frankly, a very new iPhone. Again, it has the Apple A15 processor powering it, which is only one generation of an older processor than the latest iPhone 15 has with the A16. It's got a great camera system, has the full screen, mostly bezel-less front display, the modern style boxy design. So this overall is pretty much the perfect phone for anyone who still wants modern features but likes the smaller and more compact design. It's just unfortunate though that beyond this phone, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any more mini iPhones like this. And final battery check at the end of the day, we're currently sitting at 20%. I consider myself to be a pretty moderate phone user. Of course, your battery performance entirely will vary based on how you use your device. And as I said earlier, the battery health of the battery in your iPhone. Once again, if you're going to buy one of these used, definitely make sure you know the battery health capacity before buying it. I would recommend only buying an iPhone if, again, it has somewhere around the 90% battery health mark or higher, just to ensure that you're getting a phone with close to the full battery health capacity. But all right, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. As always, let me know your thoughts on the iPhone 13 mini in 2024 in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and of course, as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.